Welcome to Story Lane English. Today, we set sail on an extraordinary journey through history, following Ferdinand Magellan and his daring expedition to circumnavigate the globe. This story will take you through challenges, discoveries, and triumphs, all while helping you improve your English. Let's begin. A bold vision. In the early 16th century, Europe was buzzing with excitement about new discoveries. Explorers had begun charting unknown lands and finding sea routes to Asia, driven by the promise of spices, gold, and fame. Among them was Ferdinand Magellan, a Portuguese sailor with a bold vision to find a westward route to the Spice Islands, now part of Indonesia, by sailing around the Americas. Magellan believed such a route was possible, but his ideas were met with skepticism. Determined to pursue his dream, he sought support from Spain's King Charles I, who agreed to fund the expedition. In 1519, Magellan assembled a fleet of 5 ships, the Trinidad, San Antonio, Concepcion, Victoria, and Santiago. With a crew of around 270 men, they set sail from Seville, Spain, on the 20th September 1519. Crossing the Atlantic. The journey began with high hopes as the fleet sailed across the Atlantic Ocean. The ships faced rough seas and storms, but the sailors were driven by the promise of adventure and riches. After several weeks, they reached the coast of South America. There, Magellan searched for a strait that would allow them to pass through to the Pacific Ocean. The crew's spirits began to falter as the search dragged on. Supplies dwindled and tensions rose. Some men questioned Magellan's leadership, leading to mutinies that he had to suppress. Despite these challenges, Magellan remained focused and determined. Discovering the strait. After months of exploration, Magellan's persistence paid off. In October 1520, the fleet discovered a narrow passage at the southern tip of South America. This waterway, later named the Strait of Magellan, was treacherous, with strong currents and unpredictable weather. It took over a month for the ships to navigate the strait, but when they emerged on the other side, they were greeted by the vast, calm waters of a new ocean. Magellan named it the Pacific, meaning peaceful, because of its gentle waves. The crew cheered, believing the hardest part of their journey was over. Little did they know, their greatest challenges lay ahead. The long Pacific crossing. The fleet's crossing of the Pacific Ocean was one of the most harrowing parts of the voyage. For nearly 4 months, the sailors endured extreme hardships. Their food supplies ran out, forcing them to eat stale biscuits, sawdust, and even leather. Fresh water was scarce, and many fell ill from scurvy. Despite the suffering, Magellan's leadership kept the crew going. He inspired them with his determination and reminded them of their goal. Finally, in March 1521, they reached the Philippines, where they were able to rest and resupply. The lush islands provided food, water, and a much-needed break. A tragic loss. While in the Philippines, Magellan sought to convert the local people to Christianity and establish alliances. However, his efforts led to conflict with a local ruler named Lapu-Lapu. In April 1521, during a skirmish on the island of Mactan, Magellan was killed in battle. His death was a devastating blow to the expedition, leaving the crew without their charismatic leader. Completing the voyage. Despite the loss of their captain, the remaining sailors resolved to continue the mission. Under the command of Juan Sebastián Elcano, the expedition pressed on to the Spice Islands. There, they loaded their ships with valuable spices and began the long journey back to Spain. The return voyage was fraught with difficulties. Only one ship, the Victoria, managed to complete the journey. On the 6th September 1522, nearly 3 years after they had set out, the Victoria arrived in Spain with just 18 survivors. They had become the first humans to circumnavigate the Earth. The legacy of Magellan's voyage. Magellan's expedition was a monumental achievement. It proved that the Earth was round and much larger than previously believed. The journey also opened up new trade routes and deepened Europe's understanding of the world. Though Magellan did not live to see the completion of his mission, his vision and courage changed history forever. The moral of the story. Ferdinand Magellan's story teaches us the value of determination and perseverance. Despite immense challenges, his bold vision and leadership inspired his crew to achieve what many thought was impossible. It reminds us that great achievements often come from taking risks and pushing beyond our limits. Thank you for joining us on Story Lane English. Stay tuned for more incredible stories of adventure and exploration while improving your English skills along the way.